Welcome into Game Night. I'm your host, Tiger Munn, and we have got a show for you today. We are talking everything Commanders, Nationals, Mystics. There's a lot I got to talk about. Hope you guys are doing well. It's a rainy day in the district today, but we got things rolling. So why don't we start with the Commanders? Training camp, week one ending, and a lot of questions about the team, what they could do, and they looked pretty good this week. Sam Cosmi speaking at the end of the last practice. Here's a quick little bite from him talking about his injury, how he's coming along, and the practice schedule.
I can't tell you a specific time because the crazy part about that is, like, I feel like I'm, like, everything's back, but there's still so much the normal. I don't know if it'll ever be really normal again going through something like that, but, like, that's the part of being a pro, is being on top of stuff like this and working on that. So, but from a power, from a mobility standpoint, I can't tell you a specific time, but I just knew, like, when I would be able to cut, do that, like, pass set. The biggest thing for me last season coming back was trying to, when I went to go kick out and then come back inside, like pushing off this leg, trying to do that was a challenge. So I feel really good this year. I think they do a really good job of doing this ramp up here. Like, today was definitely a steeper ramp, but I think from that perspective, and DQ also said to make sure our conditioning was on point by the time we came back. So I did a ton of hills. I mean, I have a massive hill in the backyard. So, like, I just ran my hill every day pretty much at least 20 to 30 times just to try to get that shape. So, if you're not tired, then you can think, and if you can think, you can play really well. So
You're Cosme right there. Talk about the conditioning. When Dan Quinn asked his team the kind of shape he wanted them to be in, and we can see it in practice. It's been hot. The weather's been kind of fluctuating. I can't even give you a description of what the weather's been over in Ashburn, but one thing's for sure, this team has been doing their thing, and this team has been trying to get back to their, I don't want to say former glory, but they're trying to get back to the point they did in Jaden's rookie year, which kind of seems a little weird to say, but that was their most successful season, probably, at least I remember, since I don't even want to say the three letters RG3. Sorry, I did. But I think Cosme is going to be one of those pieces with the Commanders that people have to recognize, and so far, so good with him. No concerns. No, we haven't heard anything from staff about concerns. Quinn's been saying he's been doing great. So there's that. And then, of course, Terry, as you see on screen. And who's going to be his number two? It could be the guy also on the screen, Antonio Williams. He's been getting a lot of hype, a lot of attention in practice. So, and he's been rolling back and forth with a lot of different teams, including ones. He's been catching passes from Jaden. And so far, he looks pretty good. I always say this about camp. You take everything you hear, see, and interact with on social media on camp with a grain of salt, because you really don't know how good things actually are. You got to keep in mind, they're only playing against the other team, the other side of the team. So they could be playing well. Does that mean the defense is playing bad? That's a good question. If a guy Moss is another guy, is that bad in the corner? Is that good in the receiver? That's a good question. If this all-pro corner is getting cooked by a rookie, does that mean the rookie's going to be excellent? Does that mean the corner is on the downcline of his career? It's hard to judge in training camp, and I think, at least for me, backstory: I was an intern during Sam Howell. I can't believe I blanked on his name for a second. The Sam Howell era, and I thought Sam Howell actually was going to be pretty decent, but I don't think I need to tell you guys what happened during that season. I was completely bamboozled. So after that, I took a stand. I'm saying I am no longer taking training camp too seriously, especially considering everything that goes into training camp. And you got to, again, remind yourself that if there's a good play on one end, it's probably a bad play on the other end. But that's not the only thing. That's not the only place people have their eyes on in training camp. And I mean, Sam Cosme in that regard. Jaden Daniels is the biggest star of this team and the franchise quarterback of this team. I think we can all say that. So he's going to get the most attention, and Netflix knows that too. That's why they featured him in their special, in their docuseries, Quarterback. And Alex Flum was able to speak with one of the producers of that docuseries just about what he saw in Jaden, the production of the show, and a little bit of some background knowledge as to what you guys saw. Be sure to be sure to check out Jaden. It's a great series. I binge watched it front to back. But here's Alex, and here's that story.
I know you were obviously, covering the NFL, being in the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic area. You had some coverage of that season the year before where the team had so much success, and maybe you got a closer lens of Jaden through the struggles. But did you see, a similar approach with him, like how he was managing the success and the struggles?
Yeah, I think it was really interesting because I remember a drive-in that I had with him before they even started the season, and I asked him the question, all right, what, a very generic question, hey, what's your goals or expectations for this year? And right away it was like, obviously we want to win a Super Bowl, and I want to be in the discussion in the MVP race. So I'm sure in his mind the season was going to go completely different than obviously how it went. I mean, I think nobody anticipates having injuries, certainly a catastrophic one like he had. And I think just being in his house with him when he's all alone watching the Dolphins game and the teammates are overseas, and I'm sure he would have loved to go over there in Spain and take that whole experience in. And I think he really kind of saw just how fragile I think this is, and how you really can't take anything for granted. And I think really that's what helped him drive him to get him back so quickly too, and why he wasn't just content, just, hey, I'm just going to sit out the rest of the year. Like, I think he sees the big picture, even just being only a second year guy, that, he wants to do great things in his career, and, it's going to take another level, and certainly another, staying healthy and all the extra work, and just, this game that he loves so much, it can be taken away at any second.
You talk about reaching that extra level. I talked to Wes Welker before this season, who's on the Commander's staff now, and he told me that he does see some similarities in the leadership style and the way Jaden conducts himself to how Tom Brady conducted himself on a daily basis. As someone who was embedded with Jaden for an entire season, are you surprised to hear something like that?
No, I'm not at all. Because, similar, I'm talking about those moments of coming home after the injury and stuff. Like, a lot of other quarterbacks go home and they might have kids, or they might have all these other activities they're doing. I think, when Jaden went home, he was watching football, whether it's, plays from practice or other games around the league. Like, that's what he does. That's what he loves. And I think that's really, really cool to see. And that's why I'm not shocked at all to hear that.
So then while you were out with Jaden, there were three other producers, I'm assuming, in similar roles,
Yep.
with Baker and Joe Flacco and Cameron Ward. So when you guys were out collecting stuff, were you guys having like weekly calls comparing what everybody was getting and how are we going to piece this all together? What was that experience like?
Yeah, so we do that. Yeah, every single week we're talking about what types of things we're filming, because it certainly wouldn't be interesting if everybody's just filming rehab every single week, or filming body work, or we try to get a variety of different things from the different guys, so you can kind of tell the full picture of what it is like to be a quarterback in the NFL. But I really enjoyed this group that we picked this year. I think I talked to some people and they're like, hey, why don't you just do, the top 4 quarterbacks in the league, but that's kind of the same story. They all have the same experience through the season. So the fact that we were able to get a first overall pick in his rookie year was fantastic. A guy like Baker Mayfield, who has been around a bunch and has now kind of really found a spot where he's having a lot of success. And then obviously Jaden, and then a guy like Joe Flacco, where I'm sure if you told a lot of people right away that we were doing him, they might be like, why? But his story might end up being the most fascinating, between going through a trade and just being a vet like that, who has lived so many different experiences in the NFL. And like you see, has a really wonderful family that had some really hilarious moments throughout the series. It was really cool to see 4 different guys at different stages of their careers kind of just tell completely different stories.
I liked when his kids were mocking him in that one scene with Flacco. So
Yeah.
did the Flacco producer have to just get up and in the middle of everything, just take all their stuff from Cleveland to Cincinnati and be like, well, I guess we're changing our base. And it's a good thing that was the team the trade was to, I bet.
Right, it was close enough. It was at least driving distance. No, I mean, and that's another cool thing with this series is that, going into the year, we can't script any storylines or even guess how this show might turn out. It really is on a week-to-week basis, we have to adapt and be ready to tell whatever story happens, because there might be a trade, there might be an injury. Previous years, there might be a benching. So you really are living this season with those guys. And as a producer, director, I think that's one of the cool things, because you're really seeing inside their life. And then we hope to show that on screen so the audience can do that as well with us.
Now, I got a fun question for you. I don't know if I'm sure you've probably gotten this one at some point, but if you could pick any quarterback in the history of the NFL in any specific season, which one would you pick to be embedded with? Like literally the history of the NFL, who would you pick?
Gosh, that'd be really, really hard. I mean, I think we certainly got really lucky our first season of quarterback when we were with Patrick Mahomes and he was MVP and winning the Super Bowl and getting, hurting his ankle in the playoffs and still able to come back. We mentioned Tom Brady earlier. Certainly his season where he was absolutely perfect and then losing in the Super Bowl. I can't imagine what that shoot would have been like with him after the Super Bowl, after he had just had that defeat and was this close to being all-time, going down in history as the greatest season. So I think that'd have to be up there on my list for sure.
And then which Washington quarterback would you pick?
Gosh, I mean, I can only imagine what it would have been like to follow like Sonny Jurgensen in one of those years when, like, obviously way before social media or any like stories were getting out. I would just like to go out on the town with Sonny and see what that was like.
And what about the RG3 season? That would have been interesting.
Yes,
that would have been
absolutely.
tough. That would have been tough, though.
Right, exactly. That would have been a brutal ending, unfortunately, but it would have been a fun ride to start it at least.
All right. And then before we wrap up, Tim, just looking forward, can you tell us anything about what's next? I mean, I assume you're going to be part of it's the Seahawks Hard Knocks.
Yeah, Seahawks Hard Knocks is filming right now, and that'll debut next week. So that'll be a fun one. First time doing a Super Bowl champion since we had the Ravens way back when, 20 plus years ago. So that'll be awesome. And then stay tuned for what's next on Netflix next
I know.
summer. We'll see.
We're excited to see. And season 2 of Quarterback, right? It's season 3 of the whole show with quarterback.
Season three of Quarterback. Yep. And then we did one of
the receiver. Gotcha. Yep. So season 3 of Quarterback is now available to watch on Netflix. You can go watch it right now. I just watched the whole thing in the last couple weeks. I had to make sure I finished it before talking to Tim. As always, great work from Tim. Thank you so much for joining us. And go Terps, right?
There you go. Go Terps.
And Watkins Mill, too.
All right, that was that with Alex and Tim. Great interview, Alex, and hope to see more from them in the future. Coming up on game nights, I talked to Dyami Brown about coming back to the Washington area and his return. That's more coming up on game night. Welcome back into Game Night. I'm Tiger Munn, and earlier I mentioned that I spoke with Dyami Brown about his return to the Washington area. Of course, he spent a year with Jacksonville, played the first half of that interview earlier in the week. Here's the second half of that from training camp, day 1 with Dyami Brown.
Speaking of competitors, you got probably one of the more competitive-fueled coaches in the NFL. Dan Quinn's always telling the media just how excited he is to have such a physical team.
Right.
When you're back with DQ, just tell me about the intensity that he brings, how unique he is in the NFL coaching the sport.
Oh man, it's amazing. And DQ, you speak about competitive nature. Like, we compete in everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we compete in the meeting rooms. We compete out here. No matter what we do, we compete. And to instill that into people to compete in everything, like it's almost like, okay, you playing with your brother with like video games or playing something outside or in the house, like you doing something to compete. You playing cards, you Uno, Monopoly, whatever. It's things like that to where you compete and you want to win. And when you instill winners, you win.
I know y'all be competing in the game. Anybody on like Madden or anything?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, I don't play the game like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's just not me. I haven't played the game in a long time.
Gotcha.
But whoever play, I'll probably find out who play the game and stuff. So yeah, but me, I don't play the game. So.
Gotcha. One thing Dan Quinn spoke about earlier today was guys coming in great shape, specifically great shape. Just what have you seen from the team coming into today in terms of the shape they're in, and how do you feel physically walking into the camp this year?
Oh man, it's crazy. Cause I tell a lot of guys like back at home, like even like the young guys that's in college and high school, like, man, your season starts really in the spring, so just getting in shape and being able to, compete. Like you don't want to get in shape during the season because it can be real tough. But if you come in ready to go and in shape, you can just keep building off where you left off at. So I think for the main part for us is, okay, during that time off, we do the things that we need to do to come in shape and be able to go out there and play fast. And like I said, we have to compete at the same time. In order to compete, you have to be able to go. You know what I'm saying? If you can't go, then you can't compete. So we want to be the ones that's in shape and ready to go and play fast every single time, to where we don't slow down or anything. We can go out there, execute, and do the things that we need.
You guys have one of the most rabid, loyal fan bases in football.
Mm-hmm.
How excited are you that first game at Northwest Stadium, that first snap in front of those loyal Commanders fans? How excited are you for that?
Oh man, I'm excited to get back out there. They deserve it. And I just being around, man. I see the fans all the time, and they always, they shout us out, they show us love. So it's only best for us to go out there and do the same thing.
And speaking of the fans and you meeting them, I know you're a familiar face around here. Guys come back around and be like, hey, glad you're back or anything like that. Any fans say oh, we missed you or stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I kind of get that a lot, man. I get that a lot. So, but man, it's always appreciated to have love around the city, and and I just want to go out there and do the things I need to do and bring the whole city back, big ring.
All right, that was Dyami Brown. Great interview. Thank you for his time. And coming up on Game Night, we're switching over to basketball. We're talking Mystics, and we're also talking baseball with the Washington Nationals. They've been struggling, and one team's been struggling, and one team has been winning. We're going to talk about that coming up on Game Night. Welcome back into Game Night. I'm Tiger Munn, and we are talking Washington Mystics to start it off. The Mystics have been on fire. 4 games in a row. It's starting with a big win against the Valkyrie, then winning against the Aces, and then a couple more big wins too. So far, this is kind of where people expected this team to be at the end of the season, or at least at the beginning of the season, I should say. In terms of competitiveness, this is a competitive team. They're a scrappy team, and they have had a lot of close calls in that fourth quarter. And I think that's just gotten this team better and better and better as time has went on. I mean, they're hardened. They're as young as they are, they're pretty hardened, and they're pretty what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to keep saying scrappy because this team is far from scrappy. They can beat you in any way they need to. They can dominate the paint. They can also shoot if they're hot. And they play defense. This is one of the best defensive teams in the WNBA, and that's not a trait that young teams particularly have, especially young guards. I mean, I'm not saying young guards, all young guards don't play defense, but it's hard to get a young guard to really understand the discipline needed for playing great defense, and that's exactly what this Mystics team has done. I feel like Sonia Citron has stepped up her defense, particularly on the perimeter, and I've been really impressed with her. I mean, she's not going to be she's not a top flight, top 5 defender, of course not, but she is doing what she needs to for this team. She's funneling when she needs to. She's in the right position, and I think that's kind of the biggest point. Shakira Austin has been a defensive stalwart. She's been the defensive anchor of this team. She's been incredible this entire season. And the more and more you think about it, the more and more you kind of how did you not get an all-star vote, or at least an all-star appearance? I think she should have been. I think she should have been on the roster, but that's a long time ago. And we're moving on from talking about the Mystics. I do think this. I'll leave it off of this. I think this team is a playoff team, and I think they can make some noise in the playoffs if they get hot at the right time. Sydney Johnson has his team buzzing, and I'm really excited to see where they go. But moving on from the Mystics, we're going to talk about the Nationals. They've been slumping, and it's been a 4-game losing streak for the Nationals. Kind of tale of two coins. Whatever it is. What I do know is this is chickens coming home to roost. This Nationals team has had a pitching problem this entire season. Other than Foster Griffin, they've been kind of searching for a consistent presence on the pitching mound. And when the bats go cold, this is going to happen. Now, granted, it's baseball. It's a streaky game. It's 162 games in a season. a 4-game losing streak really isn't that big of a deal as it would be in other sports. But it's still something to note. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. And while we're on this topic too, Nationals just making a new trade, if I can pull up the notes here, with the Yankees. They're expected to send Luis Garcia Jr. in exchange for 4 right-handed pitchers, again, to the Yankees. So big trade news for the Nationals as they try to revamp their pitching rotation. As you can see what happens when they're not able to, because if the bats aren't hitting the balls, the Nationals are in trouble. But coming up on Game Night, we're previewing week 2 of Commanders training camp. Welcome back into Game Night. We are previewing Commanders training camp week 2. Commanders looking pretty good in week 1. No major injuries, which again I think is the biggest parts so far. We haven't heard anything from their top 5 superstars. Top 5 superstars on the team, but we're heading into week 2. We are closer and closer to that first preseason game, and again, taking training camp, with a grain of salt. I think that is what you kind of have to do until we really see what this team does on the field that first preseason game. And even during that first preseason game, you got to take it with a grain of salt because it's the preseason. They're not going to be playing all their guys, and a lot of teams aren't going to be revealing their full playbooks. They're just trying to see who can play and who can't, and that's kind of where the special team guys kind of shine. But, yeah, should be an exciting week, and should be another great week of coverage. I will be there tomorrow on Monday for Monday's practice. Again, fans will be there, so if you're there, give us a holla. All right, that'll do it for this edition of Game Night from Tiger Munn and everyone over in production. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.